All right, today we're going to talk about a problem that, it hits pretty much every business, but it's often hiding in plain sight. I'm talking about our reliance on knowledge systems that are, well, they're just fundamentally broken. So let's dive into what I call the brittle world of paper.
I mean, we've all seen this, right? You know the one, that super important workflow doc, that key slide deck, or that company policy PDF that hasn't been touched since, basically the Jurassic. This image, it just nails the problem. The second we hit print or export, our knowledge starts to fossilize. So what actually happens when our knowledge gets stuck in time like that? You might think it's a simple question, but the consequences are absolutely huge. When your info can't keep up with how fast your business is moving, it doesn't just get old, it gets dangerous. It starts misleading people, it slows everything down, and it creates all this friction where you should have smooth sailing.
Okay, so before we jump into the fix, we really need to get our heads around the problem itself. Let's break down exactly why these old-school static documents just fail in today's dynamic world. This is what we're talking about when we say the brittleness of paper.
So here it is, the official name for our villain today, paper-based architecture. And listen, this isn't just about actual physical paper. Nope, it's any format that gets frozen in time. A PowerPoint deck you email around, a PDF you download. They feel so solid, so permanent, right? But that's the trick. It's a total illusion. In reality, they're incredibly brittle. Here's the real kicker. The moment you think a document is finished, it immediately starts to decay. I mean, it can't update itself when a process changes. It ends up actively misleading new team members who trust it. And you want to fix one tiny little typo? Well, you have to recreate and resend the entire thing. And for remote teams, forget about it. It's an absolute collaboration killer.
So let's just put these two approaches side by side for a second. In one corner, you've got the paper-based world. It feels permanent, sure, but it ages instantly and costs a ton to update. In the other corner, you have the web-native approach. It feels dynamic, because it is dynamic. It stays fresh, evergreen, and the cost to update is next to nothing. I mean, the difference is just night and day.
Okay, enough doom and gloom about the problem. Let's get to the good stuff, the solution. We're going to dive into the web-native alternative. This is a totally modern approach that treats your knowledge not as some dusty old artifact, but as a living, breathing thing. And really, this is the core idea. It's a fundamental mindset shift. We have got to stop thinking about our documents as these historical snapshots, completely frozen in time. The goal is to build living systems, systems where information can evolve and adapt just as quickly as our businesses do.
And look, there's actually a structured way to do this. It's called the idea delivery lifecycle. It all starts with ideation. That's just, capturing the new concept. Then you move to elaboration, where everyone can jump in and build on that idea. The real magic, though, happens in the iteration phase. This is where you can constantly improve it without having to start over every time. And finally, you get to presentation, where you share this living, always current idea. So what's really cool about this whole approach are the real, concrete benefits you get. We can actually break them down into 4 huge advantages, and these really show how web-native systems completely leave that old paper world in the dust.
All right, advantage number 1. And honestly, this is a total game changer. Your knowledge becomes evergreen right out of the box.
Now just think about what this really means. One single link, one URL, becomes the permanent home for that piece of knowledge. It always points to the latest and greatest version. This just completely gets rid of that nightmare we've all lived through, digging through emails for presentation_final_v3_use_this1.ppt.
Okay, on to advantage number 2, and this one is all about efficiency. It becomes almost free to keep everything up to date.
I love how the source material puts this. Making an update costs less than a penny of electricity and a few kilobytes of bandwidth. Now compare that to the time, the money, the pure hassle of having to re-export, reattach, and resend a static file to your entire team. I mean, come on, it's not even a contest.
Number 3. This one is so critical for the way we all work now. Your information is accessible from literally anywhere.
It doesn't matter if your team is in the office, working from home, or even checking something quick on their phone while they're out. Everyone can get to and work on the very same living document. And this isn't just about convenience. This is what enables true, seamless collaboration with no boundaries.
And that brings us to our 4th and final advantage. And this one is all about future-proofing your knowledge. It's all because it's built on open, interoperable standards. See, by using universal standards like HTML, you're not locking your company's entire brain into some proprietary format that could be totally obsolete in 5 years. It means your knowledge stays accessible, it's reusable, and, this is huge for the future, it's readable by machines and AI tools.
So when you start to stack all of these advantages together, you see that the change is so much more than just a simple upgrade. It's a complete transformation. You're moving from a brittle system that just breaks under pressure to an adaptive one that actually thrives on change.
And this really sums up the endgame, right? An adaptive architecture means that lessons you learn get applied the very same day. It means your teams stay aligned without that constant hunt for the latest version. It means AI tools can actually plug in and start reasoning over your information. And the big one? Your most valuable asset, your institutional knowledge, it actually gets better over time instead of slowly decaying into irrelevance.
I want to leave you with this one final thought because it just wraps this all up so perfectly. Paper has permanence, but not resilience. Digital has adaptation and therefore longevity. So the real question we have to ask ourselves isn't just about being more efficient. It's about survival. Is your organization's knowledge built to just feel permanent, or is it actually built to last?